This episode is brought to you by Americas Rehab Campus. Get on the road to recovery with the best rehab in beautiful Arizona. Dial 1-833-272-7342. That's 1-833-ARC-REHAB.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are now tuned in to the ARCast.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of the ARCast. My name is Buddha. I'm solo dolo today, but I got a special guest sitting right here that I am super excited for. You know, I really do feel like when we come together and we bring people in here, it's meant to be when the time is right. You know, I'm blessed for this gentleman that we have here. I had the blessing of being able to see him from being a client to come into where he's at now, living his life, being sober, handling his business. He's so dope. I cannot wait for you guys to hear his story. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up to my homeboy, Nate Doe.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I got
What's
you.
up, man? What's up?
Yeah, man. P-R-E. Yeah. What's up, bro?
That was the surprise?
Yeah, that's for you,
I
dog.
liked it. That's
what's
cool.
up, because, you know, the sky's blue, right?
Right. God loves Crips.
It's the funniest thing ever. Who did I say that to?
It's like the corniest joke. Like, it's almost basically a dad joke, but it's fucking hilarious.
It is, dude. It's awesome, man.
Anybody I don't care if they're 70 and I tell them that joke, like, if they laugh. They think
cool.
I'm talking about cripples or something.
Oh,
but
shit. How have you been, dude?
I'm good.
Yeah?
I'm just working, recovery. That's basically it. Like, I'm a house manager at a sober living, so... You know, as soon as I get off work, go to the house and deal with that, you know. So basically my whole life is revolved in recovery now.
Damn, okay.
Like
That's
from
good.
work to my own recovery to where I live, like the whole thing.
That's dope, man. And, you know, and I want to dive deep, too, because I know that when this was not your first time coming into treatment when you did come here, right?
No. So I came back in first time when it first opened. I came in 2017.
Okay.
I've been clean for almost 3 years and I relapsed.
Okay.
Like really bad. I was married, I had kids, house, cars, like everything. And I chose to drink on one bad night and it was like balls to the wall.
All right, man. Well, we're going to dive deep into it. First thing I want to do, you know, give people a little bit of an introduction. Where are you from, Nate?
I'm from Tucson, Arizona, born and raised.
Born and raised?
Yeah.
Yeah. What schools you go to?
Cienega.
Cienega. Oh, I know some girls that went to Cienega.
Of course you do. Some girls from Cienega.
All right.
And then I got in trouble and I stopped going to high school.
Yeah, it's probably because of them, too. I bet you anything.
It did. They told on me.
That's crazy. Okay, so you were born and raised here. Did you have both of your parents growing up?
So my family dynamic, like my sisters a lot, they help raise me, which you did a podcast with one of my sisters, Nicole. Yeah. My dad was in and out of prison my whole life. My mom's an addict. She's in recovery now. She's been clean for like 11 years.
That's good.
But growing up, family dynamic was a lot of using. So,
all right. How many siblings do you have?
4.
4? All girls?
Well, I got 3. So I got 3 half sisters. I got 1 stepsister through like a marriage, but she's been there since I was like 2. And then now my mom's remarried with basically my best friend growing up. It's her dad. So then I have those 3 stepsisters.
Okay.
So it's a lot of girls.
Yeah, no, that's cool. And I mean, it's interesting to me because it's like, you know, when Nicole came through, I'm glad you brought it up. You know, her dynamic was completely different in the way that she thought. I mean, she became a corrections officer. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, way different.
It's so interesting to see how it changes. I mean, you really can't. That's one thing that, you know, I remember a lot of my family telling me when we had kids is like, prepare because they have their own personalities. Like,
right. So she went the corrections route and then I was like a whole different route.
That's crazy.
You know.
So how would you say your childhood was growing up, dude?
I had a good childhood, like really good. My mom, she's an amazing lady, even through the addiction and everything like that. Like, of course, we had hard times and like my mom struggled with her addiction. My dad being in and out of my life, though, so much. You know, going and staying with him on weekends when we finally got out and got his shit together a little bit.
Yeah.
But me and my sisters were like a really like close knit. Like one of our oldest sisters, Jessica, is the one that's like basically like was our mother growing up.
That's cool. All right. And how were you in school? Were you a good? I don't know why I always have a hard time saying it. Were you a good student?
a really good student. I got suspended probably every year since fucking preschool.
Really?
For fighting and this and that and doing dumb shit. You know, I got suspended every year, but I always had straight A's. Like principal's awards, like, you know, honor roll, all these things. I missed a lot of school and I got suspended a lot, but
damn,
I still did my homework.
So you were somebody who was very smart, very intelligent. You just didn't put up with any bullshit.
Right.
That's good though, man. I mean, you got to do what you got to do, right?
I used to like to fight when I was like younger. Now I'm just like,
yeah,
I don't really have the energy for it.
What does Jadakiss say? He says, might as well declare the clapping because my bones is old. I got a lot of limbs torn from scrapping.
Exactly. I ain't fighting no more.
Yeah, no, I feel you. That's cool, man. All right. So where would you say, like, you know, growing up, when did you start dabbling into that lifestyle?
So first time I was really against it for obvious reasons with like my dad.
Yeah.
You know, like him always going to prison and all these things. So I remember a time in my life, like middle school, like all these kids started smoking weed and I was like super against it, you know, kind of like I had my own reasons, right?
Yeah.
And then freshman year, I went to Portland, Oregon, and my cousin Bill, like we're like brothers. We grew up together. He's smoking weed and I'm on vacation. So I remember we're like in his bathroom and he's like, yeah, you want to smoke? We go in his bathroom and like hot pox his bathroom up there. And,
you know, sneaky and shit or what?
And I smoked again and I like lost my wallet, you know, like it was fucking just, and that's when I started dabbling. So as soon as I came back to Tucson, that's when I started like, you know, really getting into it.
Isn't that shit interesting though? Like how it is? Because I remember being a kid and being like that too. It's like, no, I'm never going to do this. I'm never going to do that.
Right.
Like you see the example and you're like, no, never. But all you have to do is be in a comfortable ass bathroom with one of your cousins or some shit, you know, but the right place, right time, man. And it just takes you down that path, man.
Yeah. So it started with like, you know, smoking weed and I got back to Tucson and the weed from Portland to Tucson is way different. Like all they have is like Dro and Chronic and stuff. And then we have like Merce. So I remember my cousin eventually came back down here and he's like, what's up with all these fucking seeds and stems and shit in your weed? I'm like,
that's crazy.
It's like $50 an ounce, man. He's like, what?
He's all, okay, never mind. Damn, okay, that's a trip, man. And how was it when you came back? Were you open about it? Did you try hiding it? Like,
I didn't really like. I told my mom right away. My mom was up there in Portland with us.
Okay,
she's like, "Did you like it?" Or you know,
okay.
And that's the same thing when they found out I was doing coke. You know, my sister Tess and my mom were like, "Stop me in the hallway. We know you're on it."
Oh, shit.
What are you? I'm trying to hide it, and they're like, "We're not mad at." Yeah, I'm all my jaws all clenched. You know? Haven't ate for days. And they're like, we're not mad at you. We just want some.
Oh shit.
You know?
Okay.
So like a lot of my family used.
Okay.
I didn't really know what or how or, you know, the dynamics of it until I hit that age. And then it was like we all used together too.
So when you say that you were like against it at first, was there anybody, like any influence in your life that had kept you on that right path, or was that solely your own thought process?
I mean, I was spoiled, bro. Like my mom let me do whatever I want. You could ask Nicole and she hates it. You know, like she's getting grounded for this and that. And then my mom with me.
You're the only boy, dude.
I'm the only boy and I'm the youngest. So it's like a double whammy at that point. But I never got grounded. I never really got in trouble. Like even all those times I got suspended, like it was like a little vacation for me.
Yeah.
You know? So my mom always wanted me to like do great things in my life, but I think I always had the choice, like you were saying, like it was up to me. You know, my dad was gone at that point. He went back to prison at that point. When I did start using, we started using together a little bit, like smoking weed and stuff. And nobody was telling me I was wrong or doing bad. Or
how was that dynamic with your pops? Like when you guys did connect, was he just like disconnected? Like, do you mind dabbing into that a little bit?
I was always really close with my dad. Like I loved my dad to death. You know, he was always like Superman to me, even with his faults. I didn't really understand it until I became an addict myself of the demons that he's had to like struggle with his whole life.
Yeah, for sure.
So I used to be very resentful towards him when I was younger, like, you know, him coming in and out, you know, and he never lied to me. He never told me when I was real little, they told me he was going to work, you know, but he was going to prison for a few years.
Yeah.
But once I hit a certain age, he was, you know, which my certain age was like 7 years old. He's like brutally honest with me and talked to me like a man, not like a kid. Super close with him, love him. But when we started using together, it was more like kind of like a friendship. It wasn't like a father son thing.
I feel
you know. And I always felt more responsible for him when he was locked up. When I did get to those teenage years and I started selling weed and this and that, like I'm putting money on his books and doing this, that, and the other to kind of like keep him afloat in there. So I felt like the roles were kind of reversed at some point.
Yeah.
You know, the father-son thing, it wasn't I was his son. It was like, hey, I need money on my books and can you do this for me? And like asking me for bail money when you go to jail or this and that.
Yeah.
You know, so the roles were definitely reversed at some point, crossed over.
And I understand that completely, man. I love my pops, but it's very similar. You know, he was gone for a while. He had his struggles, but you know, he came into my life when I had gotten kicked out of my house. I was around 19 years old. So it was like all of that resentment shit that you feel, you start kind of having more sympathy because you're like, fuck, I kind of get it now. Right. You know what I mean? Like, you know, this is a struggle or whatever, but that's good though, man. I mean, it's always, and I truly believe this, it's better to have any type of a relationship with your pops than to not have one at all. You know what I mean?
And my dad is like a really smart, amazing, like charismatic, charming guy. His one major flaw is addiction, but he doesn't want to recognize it.
Yeah.
You know, so he's always like, oh, I don't have a problem. Like, well, why have you been to prison all these times? Well, I got caught with this and this. But it was, you know, and I'm like, you don't see an issue? And he's like, no, he doesn't believe in depression, anxiety, you know, like mental health issues. He doesn't, you know, I struggle with anxiety and depression, you know, and his answer is like, man up.
Yeah, I feel you.
You know, that whole...
It's a different generation.
It's a whole different generation. You know, like our generation, we're not really like sliding things under the rug anymore. Mm-hmm. And I feel like that's going to be like a turning point for like our kids, right? Like if you have sons and they're going to grow up, they're going to learn how to like talk about their feelings and this and that and not bottle it up and not become these like resentful, angry, just dudes that end up snapping, blowing up or, you know, so it's like, the more we're aware of these things instead of just being naive to it or in denial that's the process that's going to take with like our kids to get there. So they're not struggling with the same thing and feeling alone and then using self-medicating or beating people up and, you know, violence, things like that, because it just builds up.
Yeah, dude. That's crazy. It's very true. It's such a completely different generation. I mean, even the one before our parents, like our grandparents, like those are some strong ass people, dude. And they were like, it was a completely different like lifestyle too. Yeah. My wife and I were laughing because we were in San Diego and my mom, you know, my mom is very she's strong willed, bro. Like she don't take shit from no dude. Right. Especially, right? A guy. She hates that shit. And we were reading this old school article from like the 1950s on how to be ready for when your husband gets home from work. And it was the funniest shit. Seeing my mom lose her head, like her brain, every time she would read, like, make sure the kids' hands are clean in the dinner. She's, oh, fuck that. I'm not. it's changed, dude. But it's a trip to see that, man. But no, I mean, I think even what you said right now about the advice about the kids, it shows your growth, dude. Like that really shows a maturity in your head too, you know?
Yeah, I think it's just I came to a point in my life where I'm not trying to wear a mask all the time or fake that I'm okay. And like, I know who I am now. Yeah. A lot more than when I was using, because when I was using, that was my whole identity. I was selling drugs. I was a drug dealer. I was this. Yeah. That was my whole identity then. My identity now is being like very self-aware of my emotions, my feelings, my behaviors, you know, like really recognizing things. So if it's negative in my life, then I could correct it.
That's really cool, man. So, you know, going back to your, you know, your childhood and stuff, I know you said that, you know, you were able to kind of go your own path. You didn't get in trouble. You got involved in that lifestyle. Yeah. At what point in your life do you feel like it went from just smoking weed with your cousin in the bathroom and doing like little bullshit to where it started? I mean, did you ever have that moment of reflection when you were like, fuck, I'm in this, dude. Like, this is crazy.
It happened pretty quick, right? Because I've always, like, since my mom will say it, since I was little, I used to save up my money. And my mom would borrow money or, well, take it and then say she's going to pay me back later, you know?
So that was just like a natural part of you?
It was just, very, very, like money, this. I used to want to, like, own businesses, still do.
Yeah.
You know, but when I was little, like I was like, I'm going to be an entrepreneur and this and that, you know, and my dad was really good with money in his sense, right?
Yeah.
Not the best way to go about it. It wasn't all legal. So I remember my dad went to prison and we were smoking weed at the time. Well, some dude owed him some money and he's like, hey, somebody's so-and-so is going to come by and meet with you and then just put money on my books. I'm like, okay. You know, ended up.
How old are you?
15
Okay.
at the time. So I meet up with dude and he's like, out of the truck, couple pounds of weed, boom. And then it was, you know, that's how I'm making money. And I'm putting money on my dad's books. And then it switched over to cocaine. And then it just progressed and progressed and progressed. And I wasn't just one, as like a one-stop shop type deal, you know, like this, that, whatever you need. So I'm out there in Vail and there's like high schools out there. I end up getting expelled for selling cocaine to some of the cheerleaders that told on me.
Oh, shit.
I didn't really get expelled. They were like, you could either leave with your credits, we'll give you your credits and you could leave, or if you try to stay, like you're going to get in trouble and you're not going to get any credits for the semester. So I bounced. But it progressed quickly. And I remember sitting there like, just, you feel too deep at one point. Like all these people rely on you and then you get, you know, it's a negative attention, but when you're 15 and you have money like that,
yeah,
you know, and I didn't really have fucking bills then. So I was just partying all the time, you know, partying with my mom. Me and my mom are doing coke together. It progressed to a point where I love the lifestyle. Like even today, I still struggle with not necessarily the drug addiction, but the lifestyle that comes with it is a very addicting thing, like the adrenaline and attention.
Was there ever, man, I got so many questions now. Being a young man, naturally having that ability to understand and utilize your money correctly, saving, doing things like that, especially when you have your mom borrowing stuff off of you. And I'm sure it's probably other family members that see that. Right?
Yeah.
Was there ever like did you feel like a sense of power or superiority, like knowing that you kind of had that over all these other kids and shit, especially being in high school and seeing all these little kids yeah,
big time. Power tripping, just all like,
damn, dude, that's crazy.
Nobody could talk to me any type of way. Right.
Yeah.
And it's sad to say, but even my mom, cause she's like, you know, she's like, you need to like, no. And then she, you know, because I know what she's going to ask for later, and then I'm going to be back in control, you know. So having like a control thing, you know, that's an issue for me. And nobody ever told me how it was, put me in my place. Like it was very rare for that, unless they were like my plug, my dealer, right? And it was always way older dudes that I knew that I was getting this stuff from that were like doing big, and that's what I like idolized at that time in my life. Like it was a very and I didn't have nobody to correct me in that, like, you know, where this is going to lead or what your life's going to end up being like. You know, it was, I just saw the money, the cars, the girl, this, that, the power, you know,
being pulled into that lifestyle.
I got pulled into it quick and I didn't have really anybody to like pull me away from it.
And it's crazy thinking back to those years. How old are you, dude?
31.
So
31.
Okay, so you're going back to 90s, 2000s, the music, the influence, like everyone's talking about that shit, moving weight.
Young Jeezy.
Yeah,
you know,
bro.
that was like prime time. I'm selling coke and he's talking about birds, you know.
Yeah. If the hood was a battlefield, then I earned stripes. Yeah. Not for, I mean, that's crazy. So you're at the school. You're like a young little Chapo, bro, at the school handling your business pretty much.
It wasn't that much until I left school that it was like that. And then my mom's like, you can't just stay home all day and sell drugs. Like you need to do something. So I got my GED.
Okay, you did
know,
get your
so
GED.
She's like, and I started taking like some PEMA classes at 16. So I was doing like fairly well.
Yeah.
And then I got in a high-speed chase. And that's the thing probably Justin told you.
No, I'll go into that. I really want to dive deep, man. But it's like another thing too. I wanted to ask you about the dealing and just being in that lifestyle where you talked about like the OGs, the people that you looked up to, your plugs or whatever. Was there ever a sense of fear, like once you got into that lifestyle, or were you pretty groomed by it? Like you were respected, nobody really fucked with you?
There was one that I knew, and me and him were super close, and he like showed me a lot of the ropes.
Yeah.
Man, yeah, like he was, I could call him for anything, literally anything. I'd go hang out with him. We'd go to lunch, this, that, and he was doing his thing. And, yeah, we were just tight knit. So there wasn't really any fear. And like,
Man,
I knew people had my back out there that, so nobody could really do anything. I always kind of feared getting locked up because at that point, I'd never really gone through it. And I knew eventually it would happen. So I knew I kind of had like, at some point you're going to have to go do some time. But my dad's been telling me that since I was little. Like, everybody goes to prison once.
yeah.
Everybody's got to go to jail. Like, it's just normal, like,
Yeah.
No, that's not fucking normal.
Yeah,
Dad. Why are you telling your son this, So me and that guy were really close, and he ended up passing away a couple years ago. Suicide, killed himself.
Oh shit, man.
And I was clean at the time and had my kids, and it really proved a point that even though he had all this, like even at his funeral, one guy was saying like, well, I don't know why he killed himself. Like he had this, that, and money. And it's like, that's when it really solidifies the fact that money is not gonna make you happy.
I believe that, man. I mean, I feel like money, they say money can't buy you happiness. I feel like if you have your head on right, with a sense of purpose, any type of sense of values, faith, whatever that may be for whoever the individual is, I feel like it's a tool that could help you be happy because of the security of knowing that your bills are paid, everything is taken care of. But I can only imagine the shit that comes because, for me, I was never involved. I had homies in that lifestyle, but I never was involved. I was always doing the music stuff, trying to do that.
Right.
I could only imagine being in that lifestyle, the amount of shit that you take with you that you don't even realize. I mean, seeing the shit that you see, being around the people that you're around. I mean, it makes perfect sense to me that people that are in that lifestyle for a long time, there probably comes a point where you're like, what the fuck am I going to do?
Yeah. And I, this last time before I got in trouble, I was just like, really bad shit was happening.
Wow.
Like people getting shot and this and that. And I was like right next to me. They're trying to shoot me. And they shoot somebody right next to me. And I just remember praying. And I'm not too much on like a God or religious thing, but I know there's something out there. But I remember just feeling so trapped and lonely and just down and out, and felt like I had no way out.
Yeah.
And it was either like I was going to die, I was going to commit suicide, I was going to kill somebody, or by some magical thing I would end up getting clean. And I thank God every day that I did get arrested, the day I got arrested, or else I wouldn't be here today.
Yeah. Man, so, going back a little bit, when you said that you had left high school, you got your GED, right?
Yep.
You're doing this and that. I noticed earlier you said that you had kids and you were married. At what age of your life did that start happening?
So I got my GED. I started going to Pima for a little bit, and then I started going to Brown Mackie College for a little bit, and I was still just,
those commercials on... Got you,
yeah, they got
me. Are
me.
you sitting there on your couch right now selling drugs?
How the fuck did he know? Is he looking through my window?
That shit's funny,
I'm
bro.
all paranoid, high on cocaine.
That's funny.
So that's like a big stretch in between there by the time I had my kids, because I ended up getting in trouble for some stupid shit, like really stupid shit that was really just dumb that I got arrested for, like a criminal damage thing. Yeah. Super dumb, just drunk, upset with this dude. So I go do some stupid shit to his car, stupid shit like that. Normal shit I don't do, but I was drunk. And I end up getting locked up and like catching this probation thing and like trying to deal with that, still using. So it was a struggle at that point. And right before that, I got my high-speed chase. So I've been on probation like 16 to right before I'm 18, and then 18 to 21.
Okay.
And then so like all these years of probation kind of keeping me in line, but I was still doing what I wanted.
Yeah.
Still trying to fake the system and get through it. So I ended up on the criminal damage case. I went to jail for, I think the judge gave me 180 days, no back time. I got out. I was at a halfway house, met a girl, got her pregnant on the first date. You could hit that sound again.
Oh, actually, I'll give you this one. That's Dustin right there.
That's Dustin?
Yeah. Yeah, man.
So, and she got pregnant, and then I was working.
One more time.
There we go.
I love that.
She got pregnant, and I'm like, I got drug court. Thankfully, eventually they switched me to drug court, and I ended up getting clean and stringing together like these 3 years. It took a little bit at first, I was still trying to like get high on Fridays to drop by Monday. My ex-wife's like pregnant, and finally the last time, like I'm puking out front of Task because I'm chugging cranberry juice.
Fuck.
Monday, right before they close, trying to like not piss dirty for drug court, and I end up dropping dirty. And my PO's like, you need to go to a meeting every day up until court, like go to an NA meeting. And my ex-wife's like, if you ever want to see your kid, like you're going to stay clean, and after court, I just kept going. I just kept going to meetings. Like it was like a habit at that point. And I almost got 3 years out of that one.
That's crazy. It really trips me out. Like Matt talks about this all the time, and it really does make sense. I mean, like if you look at life, right? You have two ends of the spectrum. You have that lifestyle. And it's really easy to be at that end of the spectrum with everything, like not giving a fuck, not caring about your kids, using, like if you were, like not saying you are, but like if you didn't care, like you could just go fucking down and it would be super easy. And it's also like once you get into the habit of working out, being healthy, going to groups, being sober, it's easy to be on that end of the spectrum. It takes work, but the hardest shit is like trying to be on both.
Yeah, you can't.
The amount of effort, like that's what I was saying with Matt, is Matt always talks about the amount of effort it takes, like trying to uphold both ends. It's like you'll sit in a parking lot for hours waiting for this motherfucker to come through, and
right.
Like you're over there chugging cranberry juice, trying not to drop. It's like just
that's too much effort.
Chaotic,
and I
bro.
was trying to do that all the time, and for a while I was able to just get high on Fridays. Smoke a little, like a social. Just recreational heroin use.
just recreational.
I'm just gonna do like
heroin,
yeah, with my pinky up on the foil.
That's fucking funny.
Just and I was able to do the Friday thing for a little bit, but eventually I kept, I'll save a little bit for the morning, and then it's Saturday, and then I'm like, I'll just go pick up some more. I'll be fine. I won't have to drop on Monday. Yeah, sure as shit. I called. They're like, you have to report for testing.
Oh shit.
And I'm just stressed. Like the amount of stress you put your body under from that, not worth it. And I would say that every time, but I'm an addict, so I'm like, next Friday I'm trying it again,
And it's crazy too. Did you ever notice like, those natural, like I call them like God-given abilities, that money handling, being smart, intelligent, like those things you were born with, right? When your use increased, when you were selling and using, right?
Right.
So like when your usage increased and you had gotten deeper into your addiction, did you start feeling like you were losing that other part of you, like the business part of you, the business savvy part of you? Were you not as sharp as you were before? Shit starting collapsing a little bit more, you know what I mean?
It was a little bit more unmanageable.
Yeah.
But even when I was doing heroin and selling heroin, I would go sick to sell my last. I would literally be sick.
Damn, bro.
Just to make a little bit. And when it was pills, I couldn't keep enough pills on hand to cover my addiction and other people's. So I was getting these scripts. I would run through them, boom, 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 selling them, and forget to fucking put enough aside. So then I'm having to go back out and spend more money on them.
Okay.
So it's like. But it's happening so fast. It's fast money. So you're just next stop.
Yeah.
Boom, boom, boom. And then you're like, oh, shit.
That's crazy.
I forgot I need these.
Yeah. That's nuts to me. Were you ever like in sports? Did you ever do anything like that?
Yeah, I played football.
Okay.
Since I was little, I played football. High school, I didn't play, obviously, because I was already getting in trouble. Paintball.
Okay.
I played a lot of paintball, tournament paintball.
That's cool.
Fishing with my dad a lot. I played I suck at basketball though.
That's all right.
I'm 6'1", but I can't play basketball. I could play some defense, but me shooting, no, I'm not the shooter.
Yeah, okay. I wasn't sure. The reason why I asked is just because, like with first of all, my pops was he's still not really into sports. Like he doesn't watch football. He hates UFC because he doesn't like how those fools get bloody and all of that, So I wasn't sure if you had that part of your like childhood or if that was just because like I never had that.
Yeah, my dad when we lived over by Flowing Wells, I played for the Steelers over there.
Oh, that's cool.
Like Pop Warner. And my dad, when he was around, like even when he was gone, he got me into sports, and then I kind of stayed in that. I loved playing football. I loved it. It was cool. And then when he got out the next time, we got into paintball real big. So me and him would go out there and fucking shooting, you know. It was cool to like do those things with my dad. Like he was in and out, but when my dad was out, he was there, and he was a dad.
That's good, man.
You know, so he was even though he wasn't a bad person, right? He liked to get high.
Yep.
But we still went camping, backpacking, you know, all these things. Took me to like Magic Mountain on a roller coaster, and I fucking hated it.
Did you? You're not a roller coaster person? Not an adrenaline
He's
junkie?
just laughing his ass off because I'm like little, and I'm like, like screaming. This dude's hat flew off his head and hit me in the face. You know, we're on the Colossus.
Yeah.
Just going down the wooden one.
Dude. No,
dun, 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 dun. And he's just loving it. And I'm just, no.
Are you still like that?
I don't go to the fair, bro. I don't like the fair.
You don't like the rides?
Plus, it's a lot of people. You're waiting in line all the time. I'd probably like water rides and stuff like that. Yeah, water rides are cool.
We're at Justin's Waterworld, bro. Did you?
Oh, yeah.
Remember that?
I was telling somebody about, we went one time and somebody like flew off one slide and like, yeah.
Damn.
Justin's was
dangerous
because it was all outside concrete.
Yeah.
You know, they had cactus everywhere.
Yeah, I remember that always tripped me out. And I try and tell my wife, I think that's one of my childhood memories that I really like cherish was when we would go to Justin's Waterworld because it didn't seem natural in that environment.
No.
Especially being out there with all the cactus and like I remember looking. Do you remember when you would come in? Do you kind of remember that shit? You would come in, you'd get that big ass white like thing, right? That you would sit on. And I remember my brothers and them used to make it like a ducktail. They'd flip it over
you
there.
flip the back
and you hold on to
it.
And I remember looking and you would see those two racing slides
on the left.
Yeah, on the left side.
Those were the danger ones.
Yeah,
man,
and on the right of it, there's like a 25-foot drop. Do you remember that? Like it was just nothing but cactus, like tons of cactus just dropped down there.
Yeah, Troya jumping.
Yeah, and I always thought, like, I remember getting on the slides. There would be times where like my mat would come off, and I would be like pushing myself down. And I remember looking over, like, dude, if somebody fell down here,
and I think that's why they end up closing. Because I think somebody finally. You know,
dude,
that place was fun though. I love that place.
You know, I love that you had said that you're always business oriented. If I ever had the opportunity, like where I had a lot of money to be able to invest into something, I feel like that's one thing that we need out here is a water park.
Yeah, because Breakers is cool and all, but it ain't Justin's.
Breakers is trash.
Okay.
I'm gonna say that on record, bro. It's nasty.
Because we got so used to Justin's.
Yep.
Man, when they closed and I had to go to Breakers, I was fucking mad.
See what I'm saying? it's
like
not...
you got 3 slides and a wave pool, and that's it. And their slides are not Justin's.
And the waves sucked.
The waves sucked. It's just it's trash. I'll agree with you on that one.
Crazy.
Justin's was like the shit. It was a little irresponsible that they had that much cactus out there, but we're in the desert, so But yeah, we would go there all the time. I love that fucking.
You had the cannonballs. Remember the cannonballs on the right side with the two drops?
The tubes, and then it dropped. Those were cool.
And then behind that one, I'm just reminiscing right now, guys. Hopefully you're still with us. But like the teardrop, I remember that one was like a half slide, and then you just fell in. That ride I did not like because they didn't implement the red light, green light system on it. And so I remember going down into the water and I didn't know how to swim. And this girl, I just remember her ass coming and boom, smacking me in the head. I almost died.
You act like you didn't like it.
Well, at the time I was very terrified. I was very, very terrified. She wasn't a skinny girl, dog. She was like 300 plus. Yeah, she was a big girl. And she fell right on top of me. It scared me.
Did it make a noise when she came out?
I just remember silence. Like I was close to death at that point. But then I remember too, like they had the adult pool. I just love it, bro. The lazy river. There was an Aegees there. Remember that shit?
Yep.
Fire, bro. Hey, man. You know, guys, if you guys want to donate to the ARCast, man, I am putting all that money towards a water park. Me
Justin's
and my boy here.
Water World 2.
Hell yeah, man, for sure, dude. So,
that place was cool.
Yeah, man. So, you know, going back to everything, I wanted to kind of touch base a little bit too on what Justin, speaking of Justin, what Justin had said, right? So I was trying to think, I could not remember for the life of me who said this. Was it a client? Was it Emilio? But I remember somebody had come up to me fairly recently and was like, bro, Nate was the real deal. Like Nate was G, bro. Like this dude was deep. You know, it's crazy because I see you now. I don't know you in that past lifestyle, but it was Justin who said that. He had said that you guys were like childhood friends from really young.
Really close.
Right. And then, and if you guys haven't had a chance to hear Justin's episode, it's a couple behind this one right here. Go check it out, man. He's awesome. Him and his wife are incredible people. They help people every day, man. They're a huge blessing to this facility, man. So, but he had said that, that he hadn't seen you for a long time. Mm-hmm. It had been a long time, but like he remembers you being the sweetest, most kindest, coolest kid, bro. Like you guys were super close. And then he's like, dude, but now that I'm thinking about it, like I remember him saying like he saw you. I guess he went to your house or somebody was like, yo, we got to go to my plug or something. And that he saw you and he was tripping on you. Like you had gotten so deep.
Yeah. And I've always just been, I've never been the hardest dude. I've never been one like that, you know, but I got way too deep this last time. Like I remember he came through.
This is the first time you had seen him since how long?
Years. I saw him when he got out of prison when I had my daughter. All those years later, I saw him like once when he got out. He was like doing his physical training thing. You know, he came over by the house and hung out for a little bit. Like, because me and him were super close in middle school, especially. Like, he was failing 7th grade. And I remember we had this teacher, Mr. Wower, and we will never forget that man. Like, he was awesome. Just the best guy in the world. And Justin's like failing, you know, so he had to do summer school. So I went and went to summer school with him to help him pass 7th grade. Mr. Wower was like letting him catch up on all his work. And Justin had a really strict dad, super strict. So he wouldn't let him fucking go anywhere or do anything. But he would let Justin, like he would talk to my mom and let him come over to the house for a little bit. And yeah, it was cool. I love Justin. So when we ran into each other all these years later, I remember I had all these guns and like,
that's what he said.
Yeah. And I'm like, you know, it was fucking nuts. I didn't even know how he got there. Like who brought him over? I'm like, this is a fucking trip, you know? And
that's
like,
crazy.
He's like, this your plug? I've known your plug for, 15 years. I'm like, oh, what's up, man? Like it was nothing, like I just never really fell out with him or never stopped seeing him because we're always going to be close like that. Go years without seeing somebody. He's still my boy at the end of the day, no matter what.
I'm sure it just tripped him out, though, to see that.
So I had like all this dope. I was on the run. I was on the run from bail. I bailed out, and that was like right before I got caught up. And I remember he came and got dope from me like the last day before he came here to the ARC to get clean. And we're sitting in the car and I'm showing him this Glock that I had. Like it was, now that I think about it, it kind of gives me like chills that I was getting so deep. And it just progressed. I would go to re-up and I wouldn't just get what I normally picked up. Is like every time I tried to up it, try to double up. And it wasn't just this, it was this and that. So I'd have to take this to this person.
Yeah.
Flip that, double back, double that, come here. This person needs this and this. It was like this whole one-stop shop thing was very stressful, but I was very good at it, where I could just see this and that and break it down and take it to these people and then get my money back and go double up.
And do you think that was the addictive part that you loved, was being able to balance all of this chaos together and do it, execute it, with precision pretty much?
Yeah. I was, my really close buddy, Gustavo, he's always like, bro, the way your brain works, like if you put this to good use, you could really do some things, because nobody could do the one-stop shop or flip it like you did. And if you took this and did something else, you would be great at it. And I always had people that I had people under me that would go, boom, I need you to do this. I need you to do this, like delegate a lot of stuff. So I'm not out there in the streets riding around with all this, but then I still had that control issue of I want it done my way.
Yeah.
So then I'm out at the streets at 3 a.m. I'd leave my house at 5 in the afternoon. By the time I woke up and smoked enough meth to fucking get out there. And then I'm driving around from 5 and serving till like 5 a.m.
Wow.
So I'm out there all night.
You know, going back to what you had said, you know, as deep as you had gotten, getting the chills or whatever. I'm happy that you said that your homeboys were like, dude, you're so smart. Like if you could put, you know, your brain somewhere else, you'd be able to do some amazing things. I really feel like, you know, if it is that part of the lifestyle that's addicting is the managing and getting shit done and building and upping, you could really take that mindset and put that into anything and still emulate that exact same feeling, but on a positive note. You know what I'm saying?
And I put so much negative energy out there from what I used to do, right? So now that I'm clean, I'm really just trying to push out as much positive,
That's good.
as much as I can, because I did a lot of bad out there, a lot of negative things.
Yeah.
And, you know, and I know firsthand experience that things that I did like really hurt people, you know, not just the guns, the drugs, this, that, the other. So now today I'm just really trying to push out as much positive energy as I can to try to like balance those scales some little way that I can, changing lives, helping, you know, people like really get their recovery, because the time they're here is so short-lived, you know, especially 30 days in res is not enough to stay clean.
Yeah.
It'll help you, but the real work is, again, IOP for 3-4 months. But once you get out of there, that transition stage that you have from when you leave IOP and go to sober living and you're on your own, you're not in that controlled environment, that's like the really vital point for people. And that's something that I want to get into, is helping people in that transition phase.
Heck yeah.
You know?
And we're going to get into that too with the episode, man. I just, you know, I truly am a believer that it's not, I mean, you can't clean a mess if you don't see it, right? So that lifestyle, I mean, I'm sure there's probably, I don't know if you feel like a sense of guilt or whatever from your past or whatever, but it's cool to know that now that you're on this positive note, it's like, it's not about where you're from, it's where you're at and where you're going to go next. And you're a living example of that, dog.
Yeah, there's a lot of guilt there with the things.
Yeah.
And not just you know, I'm carrying guns everywhere. And guns are like, you know, Tucson especially, we're such a close border town and like things happen so quick.
It's crazy.
There's a lot of guilt from things I saw and seen and people doing things out there that it's like, you know, all day I feel like this sense of anxiety because I was so used to being in survival mode.
Yeah.
And keeping, you know, an eye over my shoulder, like looking back all the time, observing all time, scanning the room, this and that, you know, like my body is now naturally just like that from being on edge so much.
Man, do you feel now like that you've been, you know, living like this, like little by little in small increments? Do you feel your walls coming down just a little bit, like being around the positivity?
Yeah, I feel like I need, you know, I've been on medications, right? I'm not on medications now, and I don't want to be, but I'm stating that I probably should be on some medications because I'm fucking crazy. But no, my IOP really helped me with that. So when I got out of Alhambra, like I went to Alhambra prison for a week, got out and went straight to IOP. And I feel that I was so closed off from, you know, who I thought I was in addiction and that lifestyle, and then getting locked up and being locked up for a little bit, getting out, like IOP really helped me pull those walls down a little bit. I was so closed off. I didn't want to really talk about shit at first. And I was very reserved.
Okay.
I wouldn't talk. I was very, very reserved, just observing.
Yeah.
Now I feel like sometimes you can't get me to shut the fuck up.
Hey, you know? Man, that's just cool.
But I feel like that transition point from me, feeling on edge all the time, it's getting better. It's taking a lot of work, and I have to really check myself or have people close to me check me, because sometimes I don't see it and me resorting to these old behaviors of being so closed off and like keeping shit in my head. And when I get in my head, I'll run with it. Like I can make a huge deal out of something, just somebody looked at me or somebody said this, or I read it and overthink it and can, you know, and that happens in my relationship life. Yeah. You know, if I get in my head and I'm like, you know, I now realize that I can be an insecure person, because in that life I wasn't insecure because I didn't give a fuck. Yeah. You know, now it's like, it's just totally me. I don't have these tangible things or this material or substances that people want. So I'm always constantly like, you know, do people really like me for me, or is it this or that? But really it is me now. It's all me.
Absolutely, man. I'm glad that you can see that. You know, at what part of your life did you decide that you needed to change shit up from what you had been doing all those years?
I've tried so many times to get clean.
Yeah.
You know, because at some point you just get so sick of it, and you do get sick of the lifestyle, like just people just wanting shit from you all the time, you know, and that goes into that same thing. So it's this last time when I got arrested, I wasn't even arrested at the point. I got out of the car and just turned around, and he's like, "You're not under arrest yet." Well, I will be. You know, you got warrants, huh? You're going to run it. You know, you got shit in the car, you're going to check it. Like, just cuff me, just put me in the back. I'm tired.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I'd been running for days. I fell asleep in the car parked. I had a gun in the back, an AR. I had a bunch of blues, weed, this, that, the other, all on me. Bunch of cash down the floorboard. You know, that's how he knocked on the window. "Hey, you dropped $1. I looked down and all my money's just down. And I was tired and I was caught. There was no way I was getting out of this one. You know, I was dead to rights. He had me bumpered. I wasn't going to run, you know, so I feel like I just surrendered at that point, and that was my unconditional surrender. Was I wasn't even under arrest yet, and I was ready.
Wow.
Like, just take me, just book me, just take me to jail, you know. And I feel like that was me just totally giving up all my self-will, just me living on my terms all the time and being like a control freak, and I'm doing what I want. And I just kind of just like relaxed at that point and just, all right, this is it, you know. And I really knew what I wanted, which was something different for my life at that point. Like, I knew I wanted to get out of it, because I wasn't going to get out of it alive or without a really long prison sentence if I didn't at that time.
Damn, that's deep, bro.
I was trying to get drug treatment, alternative prison, or drug court. I've done drug court before, and they denied me, right? Because I successfully completed, like, I did that whole program and dance when I had my kids that first time around. Did really great on drug court. So I tried again for that, got denied. My lawyer was trying to push DTAP. And I remember I had like a prison only plea, you know, so we're trying for DTAP, and he comes back and he's like, "Hey, they denied you because it's your second sales case. It's not simple possession, and you have another prohibited possessor." So I got caught with not one, you know, it's like my second gun case with sales.
Yeah.
Like, fuck. But it ended up working out way better than I think I would have had with DTAP. I know DTAP's, but I still had the DTAP judge, Judge Ortiz. And I thought I was going to end up getting 2.5, which was my presumptive. I went to sentencing that day, and my lawyer's like fucking up, you know, like, "You didn't get caught with not just one gun. This is second." Like, bro, shut up and sit down. And she even told, like, "Ezzo, sit down. Like, Mr. Brown, do you want to stay clean? Do you want to get I know you've done it before. I could see you did drug court. Do you want to stay clean?" "Yes, I want to get clean. I want to get my kids back. I want to do all these things." "All right, I'll do this for you. I give you 1 year DOC, which was my mitigated, the least amount of time they could give me. So I had all this back time already. So she's like, "You won't be in DOC very long," and like winked at me, you know, and I'm trying to do the time in my head. I'm like, oh shit, I'm basically out.
Yeah.
And then for my first sales prohibited, she gave me IPS.
Okay.
So I went to Alhambra for a week, did my mandate, got released, and then I was on IPS for 3 years. And everybody kept saying, "Man, you should have just took the prison time. IPS is so hard. Stands for in prison soon. You're not going to be able to do it. Like, they're just going to keep riding your ass till you get fed up." And bro, I completed IPS in 9 months.
That's good, man.
Like, towards the end, I would go check in with my PO, and she would just talk about work and sending people to CBI and this and that and sober livings. Like, she was asking me for like assistance with some of her probationings.
Man.
So
when you were done, you were done.
I was done, bro. Like, and it's when people say like you get sick and tired of being sick and tired, and like you're done, and you know when you're done, like that was that moment for me. I was just, I'm done. Like, it's not appealing to me. Like, there's appealing aspects to it, you know, like I had to work my ass off to buy that car.
Yeah.
But it's mine, and the cops can't take it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I worked my ass off for that reason, because any other car I've had,
it would have fucking taken that.
They've
quick.
seized that shit, you know, and taken all my money, and it's a sales case. So they're just taking everything. So what am I really working that hard for?
That's real.
What was I doing all that for? To make a little bit of money and just to lose it all?
Yeah, it's crazy.
And my time?
Do you think that's a key for anyone that's trying to get, sober? I always ask, like, what do you think is the key to make somebody flip that switch and want to do better? Is it just getting fed up, being tired of that lifestyle, that bullshit every day?
I feel like a big part of it for me was I hated myself growing up. I didn't know who I was.
Yeah.
I struggled with that. I always felt like I didn't really fit in, even though people, anywhere I go, like I can chop it up with people and get along with people, but I always felt like a sense of being alone and I didn't fit in and I'm a little weird and this and that.
Yeah.
So I kind of like resented myself growing up. And even at that point in that lifestyle, like I hated myself for what I was doing at that point, and losing my kids and my marriage and like my whole life falling apart. Basically, like I really resented myself. I finally had to stop being like living in self-pity and living in that and like using that as my motivational factor for me just fucking my life up completely to the point of like, basically I'm going to die out here.
Yeah.
And stop being so hard on myself for things. Like shit happens, like shit really just happens, and life is, thankfully I have enough time to like rebuild a good life. Like today I love myself.
That's cool.
And I know I deserve better. So I think people getting out of that guilt, shame that we carry on as addicts and being able to love themselves and know that like you deserve a good life, that was a big turning point for me. Like, I'm pretty cool. I'm a pretty great dude. I deserve a lot out of life. The only person that's going to do that for me, though, is me. My own worst enemy my whole life. It's never been other people. It's been me.
That's good. So what advice would you give somebody who's living that lifestyle, and that lifestyle is constantly bringing them down, making them feel like they're not good enough, they're never going to see their kids again, they ain't shit, you know what I mean? They're in the middle of all of those. Is there advice that you can give to somebody?
It's not going to like happen overnight. Like it's a lot of hard work, but the hard work and the consistency does pay off. Like today, my life is just, I love my life today. And I still don't have my kids back yet.
No.
Like that's something that I'm still working towards, but I know once that gets worked out, I will have my kids. Like everything that I want to do in life is there. It's tangible. It might be years in the making, but it's there, and nothing's going to hold me back.
And nothing can take it from you.
And nothing can take it from me. Once I get my kids back, there's no way that anybody could say I'm not doing the right thing. And that's why I've taken this time to kind of like ease into that process.
Yep.
Because I want to have everything like, off paper. I'm off IPS. I'm off paper. I have this going for me. I got my fingerprint clearance card. I work at, like, when the judge sees that, the judge is going to say, well, you're still keeping his kids from him? It's been 2.5 years.
Yeah.
And he seems to be doing the right thing. He's not that person anymore. So it's going to be like really stamped.
Good for you, bro.
So
I'm proud of you, man. Definitely super proud of you. How's the relationship now with your family? Like your mom and your dad?
My dad, he's still out there. He's still using. Still love him, but I can't. That misery loves company. And we used to do a lot of dirt together.
Yeah.
My dad, he took a literal bullet for me.
Wow.
So I love him to death, but I don't see him.
Okay.
I try to call him, his phone's off. Love him. Hopefully one day he'll get it together. That'd be cool. Man. But if he called me right now, I'd talk to him, but okay. I'm not going to keep enabling him either. My mom, I go to meetings with her. I'm going to a meeting tonight with her.
That's cool, dude.
We talk almost every day. Like my mom's really like one of my closest friends and people that I could talk to about recovery and things like this because she's clean. My sister, love her.
Yeah.
Love her. A few of those relationships with my other sister, like we're trying to mend that because my dad did get shot, in my behalf. There's a lot of negative ideas that she has about me or that she did, like the people that I was around, which it's true. The basis of it's true. And she wants to see me doing better consistently before she just lets me back into her life because she raised me basically. Yeah. So she's hurt.
Yeah. And you know what, too? I think that brings a valid point for anybody who's trying to live a better life. When you're in that negative lifestyle, that constant, I don't even know what the word would be, but that negativity is just running. It's like, you're not good enough. You're not doing this and that. But when you're positive, bro, the fact that you're living this lifestyle, you're leading by example. I'm sure now you realize, like you said with your kids, it may take time. It may take time. And I think that's where a lot of us get things twisted is we want shit instantly,
Instant
right?
gratification.
But Bro, I mean, just continue to keep going down this path. Every single part of your life is going to fall into place, man, for real. Even like, with your sister, your pops.
All those relationships like that. Absolutely. I fucked those up. Mm-hmm. I was making these choices and I hurt them. Like, we think our actions don't affect the people around us. That's a lie. Mm-hmm. Right? And I thought because I was out there, I didn't see nobody. I didn't ask anybody for shit. I got my own dope. I got my own money. I got my, like, I was helping people out too. So I felt like, you can't tell me I'm doing wrong. Yeah. But with my sister, she knows there's a lot more to me than just that. And she basically raised me. So she's very, she's hurt. Yeah. Because I was clean for those years and I had my kids and she was around my kids every day and then everything just blew up. Yeah. And came crashing down and burning. So she's hurt and it's going to take time. Like I tell people all the time, like these people in your life that don't talk to you now, you have to stay clean for a while and show them like that you're doing the right thing before they just jump back because they've been hurt. Mm-hmm. Well, I'm clean. I'm here, aren't I? Da-da-da. Like, no, you gotta, like, you were out there for years. You think it's just going to happen overnight? It's that instant gratification that we always want. Yeah. But at some point, you got to realize you made the mess, and these people aren't just going to be like, oh, well, you're doing right now. Yeah. Even though you've done this 10 times before, you've went to treatment 10 times and then you crash and burn. Like at some point, people do need that tough love and that like, I can't till you're like serious about this. Yeah. Because we could jump in and out all day, back and forth.
And it just causes 30 more hurt.
More hurt. My dad, my whole life going in and out, that was a lot more hurt than him just being gone, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, it's real.
It was like that Band-Aid. I would get so excited on his release date and this and that, and he's out and he's doing good for a little bit, and then boom.
Back in.
So it's like I kept getting disappointed, and that's where I feel a lot of I have a lot of trust issues with people. I have abandonment issues, like I feel anybody's just going to up and leave at any point. Yeah. He struggled with his addiction just like I did, so I don't hold it against him, but I still feel these feelings, and this is years later. I'm a grown-ass man. Yeah. But being honest, yeah, that shit still, I still think about it. Not that it affects me like it used to when I was little. I'm able to process it a little bit better, but it does like run into my other relationships with people. Yeah.
Your story is super powerful. And I'm so blessed that you came in and shared it with us, man. And, I truly believe that, there is no testimony without a test. You had to go through what you had to go through for a reason. Who knows who's going to be listening to this? Who knows, who needs to hear this right now? You know what I mean? But thank you, bro. Just thank you for coming and sharing, bro.
Anytime.
That was a huge blessing.
Round 2, let me know. I'll come back.
Yeah, dude, I would love to have you.
I was so nervous at first. I was like, oh, fuck, I don't know if I can. It was cool. I liked it.
Dude, thank you, man. And let the other techs know, too, because I feel like they all have that thought process. Like,
Can we get one of me and Emilio?
Dude, that would be so cool. I'm fucking down.
And Jesus. Emilio, Jesus.
Whenever you guys
want. Kyle to come down here.
Whenever you guys want, bro, for real. You're really good on the microphone, too, bro. You got that Barry White voice and shit. Yeah, you do. You got that deep voice, dog, for real. So, but no, man, thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up to my boy, Nate. He came through. It's been a huge blessing. Ladies and gentlemen, please do not forget to share this episode with one of your friends, your family, someone who may be struggling. And if you guys are interested in coming on the show, whether it's online or in person, hit us up in the show notes. All the links are there. It'll come to me directly. I will be in contact with you ASAP. For everyone who's listening, I hope you guys have a beautiful rest of your week. Much love. God bless, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.
Peace.
It's just like that, dog.
That's cool, man.
What's going on, everybody? This is Buddha from the ARCast, and I just wanted to thank you for checking out this week's episode. It means a lot, and if you could share it with a friend or a loved one, somebody in need in recovery, or maybe somebody who just needs that little bit of extra positivity in their life, we'd greatly appreciate it. If you would like to join us here on the ARCast, either in the studio live or online, hit us up. The links are down in the show notes of this episode, and on there, you can find direct links to our main website here at Americas Rehab Campus and all of our social media platforms. Follow us. We keep the posts positive and motivational, focused on recovery, health, and wellness. As you know, in this modern day and age, we need as much love as possible, y'all. And as always, if you or somebody you know is in need of substance abuse treatment, please don't hesitate to give us a call. We're open 24 hours a day, and our direct phone number is 1-833-272-7342. Once again, that phone number is 1-833-272-7342. I hope you all have a beautiful rest of your day. Much love and God bless. Peace.